A prideful person hates correction, hates guidance, hates advice. They don't want to get any advice from everybody because they think that their way is the best, and nobody else can match up to them. All these things are all traits of pride, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous because the Bible says that in the multitude of counselors there is safety. So it is so important. A prideful person will never rely on anyone else. They don't want to be seen as weak. They don't want to be seen as weak in the public eye. They don't want to show any sense of vulnerability at all. You know, these are all traits of pride. And these are all things that we need to check in ourselves and see, you know, are there elements of that in me? Oh God, work on me if there is, you know, take this out of me so that I can be in the best position to love and also to receive love from other people. And the same thing as you're checking yourself, you're checking in that person as well that claims to love you. Do they have those traits in them? Here's a big one. Love does not dishonor others. It does not dishonor other people. So those people who are rude, those people who are insultive, who use abusive language, who insult, you know, their colleagues at work, who are backstabbers, who talk nasty about people but smile in front of their faces. This is all about honor. And love does not dishonor. Love does not dishonor their parents. You may not agree with them, but you need to find a way of being able to respectfully let them know that you don't agree with them. You don't have to shout at them. You don't have to insult them to let them know that. Love does not do that. Love does not dishonor people that they think are inferior to them. So if you're in a higher position in an office, you feel like you can talk to the cleaner whichever way that you want because they're less than you. If you're in the position of privilege, you feel like, you know, somebody who is at your mercy, you can treat them anyway. That's all dishonor. Love does not dishonor. So we've got to ask ourselves again that question. Are there traits of that dishonoring in me? And you've got to check that person that claims to love you. Do they dishonor you? Do they dishonor you? You've got to check that. How do they treat you in public? Do they dismiss you to the side? Does your opinion not count in a conversation? Do they shut you down when you try to say something? These are all traits of dishonor. And the thing is, if they do that, if you see that as a routine in terms of how they treat other people, they're going to treat you the same way. No doubt about it. They're going to treat you the same way. So you've got to check these things. So love keeps no record of wrongs. Oh my goodness. Are we not all guilty of this one at some point in our lives, right? Love keeps no record of wrongs. So especially for people who are very very quiet and meticulous, like myself, you know, people who have good memory, people who are melancholic in personality type. You know, we can be very good at remembering stuff, okay? We can be very good at remembering details. And it's usually, you know, we remember the good ones, but we particularly remember the bad ones. And when it comes to somebody that you love and you care about, that is something that you need to become very good at, is wiping your memory slate clean with the wrongdoings. So I don't mean that those wrongdoings shouldn't be corrected, but this is what I mean. I mean, anytime there's a conflict, anytime there's a discussion, that person does not need to be reminded that last week and the week before that and 1 month ago and 3 months ago and on the 27th of October, you know, and last year, and you've got all the dates and stuff written down, that person does not need to be reminded of every single time that they have fallen short of your perfection. They don't need to be reminded of that. They do not need to be reminded of that. Love does not keep record of wrongdoing. When you guys have had a discussion, a conflict, and you've resolved it and you've dealt with it, please move on. Move on. You check your relationships around you, between colleagues at work. There's a big difference if that person is continuously doing something that is abusive, and it's a continuous thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about incidences where things have already been resolved. Like, you guys are on good terms, but your mind just does not forget that wrong thing. That is against love. The next thing about love is that love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. So that basically means that somebody who loves isn't happy when people get away with wrongdoing, isn't happy when evil thrives, when wrongdoing thrives, when justice, or injustice, should I say, thrives. Because it says love does not delight in evil. So people who love, they hate anywhere where, you've got to do the right thing. And they love, environments that thrive on crookery and deception and, fraud. And, that's the environment they want to be in. And when there's any move to try and change that, they hate it. Right? And it says that it rejoices with the truth. So when the truth comes out about a matter, when justice prevails about a situation, the people who have love are the people who are happy about that. So again, it's another self-check. Am I one of those people? What's my reaction with regards to justice and truth and, and evil? Is it good towards truth? Does it embrace truth? Does it love the truth? And it hates evil, and it hates injustice, and it hates wrongdoing. That's the true definition of love. And then finally, we've got the always statements. So because this is really getting long, I'm gonna wrapping this up now. So it says love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. So 4 alwayses. So firstly, always protects. Somebody who loves protects. If you claim to love somebody, you've got to protect that person. You've got to protect them physically. If you see them in danger, your desire is to protect them. And yes, there is the danger of overprotecting, right? So all things in moderation. But so that's obviously not right, not good for you to overprotect. But being protective and seeking to protect is a demonstration of love. So you've got to check that person that claims to love you. Do they seek to protect you, or do they not care? Like, do they care? Like, what is happening to you at what time? Do they care? And then the people that you claim to love, you've got to check as well in your heart. Do you care about their protection? Do you care about their well-being? Trusts, always trusts. Now, this is an interesting one. So, with always trusts, this is one that, many people struggle with. And this is one that I've struggled with personally. And it's because, again, it's because of our past. It's because of past experiences. So if you've had your trust betrayed in the past, this is something that you're probably going to struggle with. And most people have had their trust betrayed in one way or another by somebody in the past. But, this is talking about always trusting. So, and I believe that means that you cannot approach life and approach people with the air of suspicion and paranoia. When somebody has treated you wrongly, you then think that everybody's going to treat you wrongly, but that's not true. And that is against love. Because the thing is that once you start thinking like that, you cannot love, because you don't have that open heart to embrace somebody, to pull them in, because your world is so full of suspicion, is so full of looking behind your shoulder, is so full of doubting everybody's sincerity. It doesn't matter what anybody says, you don't trust what they say. You literally cannot thrive or succeed with that mindset, because everybody then becomes an enemy, even those people who are not an enemy. Because you don't trust them, they become an enemy. They become a person of suspicion. Everything that happens, you form a link in your mind that tells you that that person is about to betray you. And that's not the case. That's not the case. That is the opposite of trusting always. But when you approach people with that openness to embrace them, right? And only when you've been proven otherwise do you start being cautious or careful. That's what we mean by always trusting. So you approach people first with a place of trust. Of course, to, the appropriate degree, right? So you're not going to tell them all your secrets on day one, right? But you approach people with a place of just like a baseline trust. A trust that allows you to form relationships, form healthy bonds and relationships and friendships with people. This is one that, many people are not going to accept, but that's what the Bible says. And like I said, that is what the truth says. This is our blueprint for loving accurately. This is our blueprint for loving rightly. And then finally, the last two, always hopes and always perseveres. Now, this is all talking about, both of them, I'll put them together, it's talking about endurance. So always hopes is, you can't be a pessimist and truly love. Is that a bombshell? Yes, because if you're always thinking of the worst case scenario, you cannot demonstrate that love towards other people. Because you're always, again, it goes back to always trust. You're always thinking that someone's going to betray you. You're always thinking that, if things are not going to work out. You're always thinking the worst about people and the worst about situations. But when you hope, when you believe, when you hope in better, when you hope in better things to come, when you hope that people will change, when you hope that situations will change, then you can truly demonstrate God's love. And perseverance is tied in with that, because when you hope, then you're able to persevere. When things are not looking great, but you are hoping for a better time in the future, then you're able to endure that experience and pass through it. So hope and perseverance go hand in hand. And this is really the tenacity that you need to be able to survive in life. Because people who don't hope, they give up very early. And giving up kills. It literally kills. So if you want to live a long and prosperous and healthy life, you've got to hope. You've got to always hope. And you've got to always persevere. When things are not going right, you've got to believe that it will get better. So that's it for this Valentine's Day special. And I really hope that, something that I've said, or a few things that I've said, has really struck a chord and has really got you thinking about your life, and also about anybody who you really want to enter into a romantic relationship with, or even just your personal relationships, your filial relationships with family, with friends, with colleagues at work. This is what love truly means, and it is real practical demonstrations as we've seen in those verses. So thank you guys for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. God bless and peace out.